Greetings, Dr. Debita. My name is Anastasia Vanessa Arlene Alex. My metric number is 23301513. Today, our Group 11, we are going to present about the etymology and development of English like this. So these are the group members. There are 6 of us. Our contents today include the introduction and then part A, where we're going to talk about the word leisure, world, culture, and genre. And then for part B, I'm going to talk about the group's opinion on the importance of generational slang. And finally, um, we'll end this presentation with a conclusion. So we're going to focus on English word development and pronunciation in this presentation. And also we're going to examine etymology, meaning, and pronunciation changes. We're also going to highlight how language use is shaped by social interaction. And this presentation also was divided into part A and part B. For part A, etymology and development, this part focuses on the etymology and development of 4 selected English words. The 4 words' origins, historical changes, and meanings will be explained in this part. This part will also highlight how words evolve in form and usage over time and shows how the words have spread and are used in different languages.
Hi, my name is Laila Injera, and I will start my part with the first word, which is leisure. So, I'm gonna talk about the origin of the word leisure that originally came from the Old French word, which is laisser. Okay, this Old French word also came from the Latin word, which is leisure, that mean to be permitted or to be allowed. So the connection between leisure and laissez, basically leisure is the action because of this meaning is to be allowed or permit, while laissez is the noun because its meaning is freedom or opportunity. So originally we could say that leisure is referred to having a permission and not a free time. So we're moving on to the next one, which is involving change in form of the word leisure. Okay, the meaning has shifted from permission to a time free from work or duty, which is freedom from doing anything. Now it's referred to a free time that used for a relaxation and also enjoyment. So in terms of the pronunciation, English has retained the ch sound from French words or French language, which is quite uncommon in many other languages. This also change show how English word has expanded in a meaning which while it's still keeping the element of the original form. So next slide, how the words leisure involving changes in meaning. So the first one is denotational. The word leisure means free time. So for the second one is connotational. The word leisure often suggests to a relaxation, comfort, enjoyment, and even sometimes to a privilege. So for example, leisure is associated with a holidays, hobby, and also tourism. So for the last one is how the word leisure spread to other languages is the word leisure is now used globally that is especially in these three terms, which is the first one is tourism, the second one is lifestyle discussion, and the third one is hospitality industry. So we could say that many language has borrowed the word differently from English, but although the pronunciation is often will be adapted to fit the local sound system. So that's all for me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Chen Yaxin. I'm going to talk about the word world. First, let's look at the origin of the word. The word world comes from Old English world and world. It was formed from two older elements. Word means man or humans, and eld means age, life, or time. So the early meaning of the word was the age or life of humans. Because of the beginning word doesn't mean the planet Earth. It referred to human exist and human's life. It focused on people and their experience of life. And for next develop, the Old English, the word was written as world or world. In the Middle English, it changed form like world or word. And finally, in modern English, it became the simple form word. For over time, the spelling became shorter and more standardized, and the pronunciation generally stabilized as the word. And this reflect the common process in English where the older, longer form slowly became shorter and simple. Now let's move to the development of the meaning. In early English, the word mainly means the human's life and human societies, and later the meanings expand to refer to the earth and then to all people and places. In modern English, word can be described a specific area of life, such as academic word, business word, and digital word. Here, word means community or field, not the plant. So the meaning developing from the human's life, the earth, and then the abstract social dominance. Besides denotation meaning, word also develop connotation meanings. In positive sense, word often suggests openness, opportunity, and inclusive, as in the world is open to you. And in the negative sense, it can suggest press and burden, as he feel the weight of the world on his shoulders. Historically, negative means appear early under religion's influence, and with the positive meaning became stronger later with the exploration and the globalizations. Finally, let's look at the spread of the word to another language. In Germanic language, there are similar words, such as German Welt, Deutsch Welt, and Swedish Word. And this form shows the sheer Germanic origin. And beyond Germanic language, the English word world spread globally through the colonization, science, and modern media. And today, word is one of the most internationally recognized English words, used widely in education, science, and everyday communication.
Hi, my name is Anis Soleha binti Zulkifli, and today I'll be talking about the word culture. Okay, for the etymology of the word culture, it originates from the Latin noun cultura, which is derived from the root verb colere, meaning to cultivate, to till, to care for, or to protect. So if you think of it simply, colere is the action, which is cultivating land or tending something, while cultura is the noun, the result of that action, the condition of being cultivated. Therefore, in its earliest usage, the word culture literally referred to agriculture, specifically the act of growing crops and caring for land, rather than anything related to society or lifestyle. Over time, the meaning of culture expanded. In the 16th and 17th centuries, it was used metaphorically to mean cultivation of the mind, referring to education and refinement. By the 18th and 19th centuries, philosophers and social scientists used the word to describe the intellectual development of a person or even an entire society. Today, the modern meaning of culture is much broader. It refers to the shared customs, values, arts, language, and practices of a group of. Denotationally, or in dictionary terms, culture means the collective customs, beliefs, values, and practices of a society, but connotationally, the word carries different emotional or implied meanings depending on the context. For example, Malay culture suggests pride and heritage. High culture implies sophistication and refinement. Meanwhile, cancel culture shows how the word can also carry conflict or difference. Meanwhile, cancel culture shows how the word can also carry conflict or difference. So, the meaning of culture is not only literal but also shaped by how people use it in everyday life. The concept and term culture spread widely to other languages due to factors such as colonialism, academic discourse, and globalization. As a result, many languages adopted similar forms of the word. For example, in French, the word is still the culture. In Spanish, it is cultura, and in Italian, it is also cultura. But in Malay, the equivalent concept is budaya. Although budaya is not a direct borrowing from Latin, it represents a similar idea of shared customs, values, and practices within a society. Overall, the evolution of the word culture reflects how language develops alongside human society, expanding from a literal agriculture term to a complex concept representing identity and social life.
Hi, my name is Zahida and I'll be talking about the word genre. First, the origin and the birth of the word genre comes from the French word genre, which means kind, type, or category. The French word genre originates from the Latin word genus, which means race, kind, type, class, or family. The word genus itself comes from Proto-Indo-European root gen, meaning to produce or to give birth. This shows that from the very beginning the word genre has been about classification and grouping. Next is how the word genre evolved changes in form. The word genre entered the English language in the late 18th century and it retained its French spelling and pronunciation. The pronunciation for the word genre is genre or genre. Unlike many other loanwords, genre did not become anglicised because it still looks and sounds foreign. Anglicised meant to change something so that it appears to be more English. Next, I will talk about how the word genre evolved changes in meaning. The first one is denotational. The original meaning in the 18th century is a category of artistic or literary works. The modern denotational meaning is a recognized category based on style, form, or content. For example, in literary genre, they have novel, poetry, drama, and for the film genre, they have horror, romance, and thriller. And lastly, for music genre, they have jazz, pop, and hip hop. Next is the connotational meaning of the word genre. Genre has developed connotative meanings over time. The first thing is it can imply predictability. For example, that movie is very genre. It shows that that movie follows cliches. The next one is it can suggest limitations. For example, artists can sometimes reject being boxed into a genre. And lastly, in academia, genre carries technical and analytical authority. For example, it is used in linguistics, discourse analysis, and media studies. Lastly, I will be talking about how the word genre spread to the other languages. Due to the English language being a lingua franca, the word genre has spread widely. It is used in its original form in many languages, for example, French genre, Malay genre, Spanish género, and it shows lexical borrowing due to cultural globalization and media and academic influence. That is all from me. Thank you.
My name is Anastasia. So for part B, I'm going to present our group's opinion on the importance of generational slang. I'm going to explain how slang influences pronunciation and language use. This part focuses on informal learning through peers and media. It also discusses the impact of repeated usage within a generation. So, firstly, we all agreed that generational slang is moderately important in language learning because it helps learners acquire informal language naturally through peers, media, and social interaction. And then the influence on pronunciation, generational slang shapes how words are pronounced. And here I have some example. So the first example is the word leisure and genre. The sound sh may be simplified or replaced with more familiar sounds. And then for my second example, I want to give example regarding the word well. It is complex consonant cluster may be simplified in casual speech. And then the positive effect, generational slangs builds confidence in speaking because learners might feel more comfortable using English in formal contexts. And then secondly, it also generational slang encourage social belonging. Using generational slangs helps learners to connect with their peers. And then this also makes English more approachable. Informal language feels natural and easier to use in conversation. And then in terms of limitations, generational slang may reinforce non-standard pronunciation because without guidance, some non-standard form can persist. And then it also should be complemented with formal instruction. By combining slang with standard English learning, this ensures clarity and correctness. And for our overall opinion, we agreed that generational slang supports informal learning and social communication. It is valuable but most effective when balanced with formal instruction. In conclusion, English words evolve in form, meaning, and its usage. We see earlier words like leisure, world, culture, and genre show how meanings change over time and how pronunciation adapts in different contexts. And then generational slang shapes pronunciation and supports informal learning. Using slang repeatedly helps learners develop natural speaking habits and makes learners gain confidence in everyday communication. And then balance between informal and formal learning is key. Because while slang is useful, it should be combined with formal instruction too to maintain clarity and proper language use. And then lastly, understanding word development and slang is important for learning English because it helps learners improve their English language, pronunciation, and communication skills effectively. I think that's all from us. Thank you.